Brittany, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Antoine. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Hey, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you think that someone's astrological sign affects their ability or inability to cheat or to be loyal or faithful?
Absolutely not.
No, you don't think so? Well, a lot of people think that it does, and the character traits that come with those signs are more legitimate than we give them credit for. But we're going to find out today on this edition of Hold Your Applause, the podcast. Welcome to another edition of the Hold Your Applause podcast. I am your host, Antoine Britt, and this is your host,
Brittany, also known as Britt.
Also known as Britt. I can't call her that. She's told me that we're not tight enough yet to be on the Brit term. I got to give her all syllables right now. So
and learn how to spell it right.
Learn how to say
all of it.
I do that intentionally, though.
No, you don't.
It is the worst spelling possible I'm giving you.
Okay, that's an excuse, but it's okay.
So, listen, we got a lot to catch up on. Love is Blind. The tell-all was last night. And it was, I feel like it was a little anticlimactic. I was waiting for fireworks. We did have some fireworks, but, you know.
Okay, so going into it, initially I was upset that it started at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
I usually go to bed by 6.
6 p.m.
After
Well, you
Jeopardy.
know, I think they tried that one time. They tried to do the 8 p.m. but live.
I feel like they change it up every year because they clearly look on social media and see what the people want now after that dumpster fire. What season was that? I think it was like third season. I don't know.
Yeah, that was
Vanessa was drunk.
I think she was on something.
So now she's listening to the people.
Man, she looked great last night.
Yeah, she did good.
The dress she had
she actually
last
did.
night.
I mean, it was great, I think. But there were points that I wish they would have covered more. But,
yeah. They let a lot of people off the hook. Usually she's like brutal, especially, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like she's a little bit more brutal on the guys than the females.
I think that's just her as a human.
Yeah. You think so?
Yes.
Man hater. But
okay.
She was, she kind of, you know, took it easy on
Let's go from the start.
The majority of the cast. So if you haven't done it yet, please like and subscribe. The page is one click for you, but means a lot to us. You know, getting those subscribers and followers is big things here on this whole content, social media, and streaming platform. So every click is greatly appreciated.
And we also do more than just a podcast. We do funny videos.
Oh, yeah. Entertainment video of us just abusing each other in some way, shape, or form.
It's nice for a couple of 40-year-old people to do.
Brittany actually comes up with all those ideas. Like the one we just uploaded is, I don't know if you guys seen it, but it's like the chicken, you put chicken on their feet, and then one guy's blindfolded, and he just goes and tries to find everyone in the room based on the sound of the chicken. Is hilarious. And so we tried to recreate that yesterday.
It was fun. I always try to come up with things where I could physically hit you.
Yeah, you enjoy just beating the shit out of me. Brittany is one of those people who's not really great at a lot of things, but you will be surprised at the stuff that she's really good at.
It's so rude. Like what? What do you mean?
Like basketball. She swears she's a great basketball player, and she's...
And if you scroll down, you'll see us playing basketball together. But it was freezing outside, and I don't do well in the cold.
Here we go. Here come the excuses.
I'm sort of like a beachy girly. I don't do well. My hands were frozen, but that was a disaster. But there's more to come.
But if you ask her to
what?
Play Jenga, she's like the best Jenga player I've ever seen.
No, I'm actually very... So you are just throwing that out there. I'm very good at Jenga. If you want to see me concentrate, we played Mario Kart one time when we were working at a gym, and I don't blink. I don't my hands have never been more controlled.
Okay, so let's back it up a little bit. Brittany gave me the business about how good she was at fucking Mario Kart. She said, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kick your ass. I'm best ever
I didn't
at
say
Mario
that.
Kart.
I just said I was good.
And she came in, and I've never, let me preface by saying I've never played Mario Kart. And she came in and lost 5 games immediately back. Let's tell the truth now.
Okay, Jimmy. It was 10 minutes. No, it was 2.5 hours, bro. You probably won 2 because people were distracting me. There was a.
Is that what was happening?
Yes, and the lights above my head. I got very light eyes, so the light makes my eyes like water, and then I lose all vision.
Is that a scientific reason for?
I have a doctor's note.
Huh. Okay.
And I can show you. But then I came back and beat him at least 10. Is that not true? I did.
You came
and
back
I didn't
there with
blink.
me. You had to warm up a little bit. But still, for someone who's never played.
You did play. You have played it.
I've never played it.
Liar.
I never played it.
Okay.
Hey, I'm just a natural athlete. It's cool.
No, I'm terrible at it now. I played my 6-year-old and I couldn't win. I couldn't even win against the computer. I was like 11th place out of 12. And I'm like, wow. And he was first. I don't know if there was something wrong with the controller.
Beginner's luck, yeah. Beginner's luck.
For who? You?
No. For you. You thought you were good.
Okay.
Now, realism sets in.
So I'm good at nothing, basically.
You're good at some stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hitting people with pool noodles.
Annoying you.
You're the best of the best. Yeah, so you're really good at that. So, topic number 1, the tell-all. Of course, we got to talk about the Love is Blind tell-all. Topic number 2, which I'm really excited about, is the 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. Now, this is my jam. I love Love is Blind, but 90 Day Fiance is my shit.
I know. I'm starting to catch back up on it.
Just the concept of it.
Yeah.
We should know that these relationships are fake. Anytime you have a 22-year-old Ukrainian model who's quote unquote in love with a 75-year-old truck driver from Beaumont, Texas. But
do they have to be Ukrainian? I mean, you find that in America every day. You know, well, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Not that you're right. I guess a young, beautiful woman is not gonna go for.
Yeah, but for some reason on 90 Day Fiance, these old, out of shape American people, it's not always old, true, but I'm talking about the most extreme cases on the show.
And some of the time it's American women, and then they're finding these young men from anywhere they can find them, and and sometimes, what was that woman that was like really pretty, I don't know, and she went overseas. I only saw a bit of this because I needed to catch up, but she went over and I guess the guy was lying to her like, hey, we're not supposed to have sex in my culture.
Oh,
you know, so I don't know their names because I need to, but she seemed normal, and it's like, why do you have to go there to do this and have all this? I mean,
hopeless romantics, man.
But it is a good show, and it's very entertaining.
It's a great show. I'm gonna be balls deep in that show.
Okay.
Here. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the topic of the day, is loyalty based on zodiac signs. So, Love is Blind, the tell-all. Well, let's just start from the top. All right. So it opens up. They bring the cast out. And Brittany actually doesn't like this part of it. This is the first year they brought back past cast members, which I love that idea. I think, to keep the show relevant while there's nothing going on, you kind of boost the social media presence of the people who have, because what happens is you're on the show, you end up marrying whatever, and then people forget about you. I thought it was a really cool idea that they brought that cast back to kind of be the audience of this season's tell-all.
So I did not like it initially. I like the idea of it. I didn't like how they focused so much on them because there was so much drama in this season, and I wish they got that out in the allotted time that they, I guess, had. But it was nice to see it. I like the whole idea of it. I like the whole question thing that they had going on, but they just spent too much time asking about themselves. We can find that out on their social media, what they're doing, if they're pregnant. And by the way, I did not know that the girl that was pregnant with the Bachelor guy, he was one of the contestants on The Bachelorette, Blake.
Oh, was he?
With the brown, but I totally forgot
he?
that she had blonde hair before.
Yeah, she did.
Until I know she looked completely different. She looked great with dark hair.
She looks great. She looks
better,
even,
way better.
Pregnant or not.
But I was like, who is this girl?
And I was wondering why that kid looked familiar.
It's because he was on The Bachelor. I forget what Bachelorette. He was a contestant. I don't know what.
That dude just loved reality TV, huh?
Well, I guess he's just
stretching out that 15 minutes of fame.
Goodness.
So when I turned it on, I was wondering why they had like a countdown clock when Trevor was sitting in the pods, like in the backstage or whatever. They had a countdown clock, and I just thought it was hilarious that they had this clock. But I realize now why they did it, because they knew that this motherfucker was going to get the business when he got out there.
All right, let's go back because they gave somebody else the business before he got out. Or we can start with Trevor, because Trevor is... What's your opinion?
So I didn't know any of this stuff with I saw that an ex-girlfriend went on TikTok and said that, we were together. This was a thing. But as far as like, they had like the text while he was like going there, like, I love you. I can't wait to be with you after this whole experience, blah, blah, blah. Like, first of all, how did he get those texts?
How did who?
How did Love is Blind get those texts? Because
she posted them.
She posted those texts.
She's the one that she went on. I guess, obviously, they didn't end up back together. And she went on like a live sort of thing, or like post them on her stories on her actual, I don't know if it's Instagram, TikTok, maybe all of them. And I guess Scorn Woman. There you go. But it's almost like, is it really him? Because you can always change a name, but they receipted it back too. Yeah. That's his number. So it was true. Clearly it was true, but the look on his face, he was like,
he had no idea, right? Because when Nick Lachey like said it, he was just winning. It was no fight or flight. It was just flight. He was just like a deer in the headlights, man. He sat there silent for like 20 seconds, saying nothing.
It seemed like forever, and I'm sure it seemed like days for him, because he was probably like, "What?"
He's like, "How do you have this shit?"
Well, they've been all over the internet. Obviously, you haven't seen them. I have, but also, I mean, you got to be. I mean, they filmed this a year ago. So he's probably thinking, water under the bridge. He already knows it's out there because he's seeing people. Obviously, it's real time. So I've already looked on his Instagram. He's getting so much hate. He's turned off all of his comments. Poor guy. Over just like, he's a real human. And it's like, if you have the opportunity, if you're a young 20-something, and he said he was in a toxic relationship, I'm sure that they were just on and off, like, just being toxic together, but in love, but you're not. And it's, I don't know. He probably just wanted to get away. I don't know. I feel bad. I hate to say it, because when I found out first, I was like, that's pretty. But he didn't end up proposing.
Yeah.
So why is he at fault? And they're saying because he wants fame. But what is he going to be famous for?
For being a douche.
HGH, testosterone shots.
My man's jacked.
Yeah.
For sure.
Is it real?
I think, so 100% I agree with you that he came up there for like the fame aspect of it, or for the notoriety aspect. I really don't think he came up there to find a significant other.
But do you think that most of them go on knowing that they're going to get some sort of fame for at least 6 months? Obviously, seasons go past, we forget their names, but for 6 months, you're it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you ride that wave, and then you hope it continues by doing something and it feeds you something. But most of the time, no. You're just another reality, and nobody's going to know who you are.
Sure, but 15 minutes of fame is better than none for some people. No. For some people.
What about bad?
There's no such thing as bad. No such thing as bad press.
Let him keep talking.
Yeah, yeah. Like, he went up there before the tell-all. He was like the one that got away. He was, everyone, obviously Jimmy and Chelsea didn't work out. And so the internet is like, you should have picked Trevor. But now we see that Trevor fucked up. And so now it's more like, man, she dodged that bullet.
The only reason why I think this whole stuff even came out to begin with, women are playing chess while most men are playing checkers because
all
he was
right.
giving all this like all the women were like, Trevor is he's so amazing, like give him a chance, he needs to be a bachelor, like, or on The Bachelor, The Bachelor. Like, I mean, every woman, I felt like he was probably loving it, and then that girl was like, oh, wait a second, I got something. And because it was a year. I mean, they filmed this a year ago.
I didn't realize it was so long ago.
Yeah. So either she's still hurt and she was like, I don't want him, like, all these women to, like, they need to at least know who he is. So you can clearly tell that she is toxic as well, that other girl that released him. I don't know. I feel bad for him. I mean, it's been a year. You could tell he looked like he was about to have an anxiety attack. Maybe he was. He looked like he was going to cry. And he said, can I go? Can I leave?
Nicholas said, like, you can leave.
I know. He was like, yeah, you can go. But
Dude,
I just feel some sort of like, he's human. And I feel bad. Because at the end of the day, I do believe him that he went on to probably try to get away from her. And look at me, sticking up for a man. Like, you could tell by his face that he literally was like, oh my God, stunned. What do you think he was going on the show for?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
well, I mean, maybe he thought, because there was a triangle between Chelsea and Jimmy and him. So my assumption, if that was me, my assumption would be Jimmy and Chelsea didn't work out. This might be the opportunity for me to like throw my hat in the ring, you know. And
they're not gonna like release these texts, but they run them one by one. Vanessa, Nick, he said, Trevor said, and he was like, I had something to say about this, and I did feel. How did you feel in that silence?
I was like, damn, Trevor fucked up, and because when you see that, like, automatically you're going to start to advocate for one or the other. You're going to be like, well, maybe, like you're doing, Trevor, maybe Trevor was in a bad situation, but, you know, I'm more of an advocate for the show. Like, this is fucked up.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You know, he took the spot of somebody who could have really went up there for the right reasons and found love and blah, blah, blah. But
I think they actually did that to prove a point. For the next time that somebody tries to do this, don't do it because we're going to call you out.
Yeah.
And
you just got to cover your ass better than that, dude.
Have you ever been in a relationship like that, though? Because he did text her right after, hey, just left the show. But there are more texts that they didn't say. And he was like, I did meet a Chelsea. I gave her my dog's collar because his dog was named Chelsea.
Okay.
I mean, there was more to those texts. They literally said the worst ones.
Oh, they cherry picked the texts, you think?
They did.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen them all. Just through, but he was like, I had a connection with this girl named Chelsea, and he did say I had to pretend. But have you ever been in a weird relationship where it's like you're honestly trying to look for something else to get out of the toxic mess, and then you're going back, well, I love you, but you really,
but you're just like you don't like conflict,
insecure,
so you don't want to be
then
the one
all
to
this,
just say
it's a mess. But
yeah, I get that too.
So I do believe him in that. I don't know, I'm not him. But I did feel a lot of like, that sucks. And I do love that AD said, say it with your chest. When there was so much silence, I was like, yes.
Yo, AD be
she
going
ain't scared nobody.
hard at cats.
Gosh. I'm like, yes. Honestly, AD is the only girl I trust in that whole, and Brittany. And
but
what was the other girl that's married to Johnny?
Amy, right? Yeah. So I think it's really interesting how hard you're going for Trevor, but
I'm not.
But Jimmy though. Now let's move over to Jimmy now.
Or do you want to go to? Okay, we can save Sarah Ann and Jeremy for last.
Oh yeah, we saved the good stuff for last. Because I feel like and this is when going back to Vanessa and Nick Lachey, I don't think they did their job with kind of giving this couple the attention that they deserve, because I feel like they let Chelsea off the hook hardcore.
Yeah, either
because if that had been Jimmy and Jimmy was the one who was like super insecure, questioning everything that she was doing, telling her that he didn't like when she went out, they would have been up Jimmy's ass.
Are you sure?
100%.
I feel like they wasted way too much time on what the internet was really interested about, which was Sarah and Jeremy, AD, and they were Clay. I don't know, but they ended on them, and they just said nothing.
They really.
What are they focused on Jimmy and Jessica, and I'm like, what? Yeah. Like what?
Yeah.
No, there's so much drama with Chelsea.
Chelsea is the one that really they should have been like, look, why? But maybe it's one of those situations to where, which is good on her, she went on social media and addressed the fact that she has insecurity issues. And I feel like by them talking about it on air, it would have been like almost like bullying, because she's already come out and said that she's, I
think she's in therapy, and she talked to Vanessa and she was like, please don't, which I also think that Brittany and Kenneth also like underlined, hey, we're good people. And they kind of like before this reunion, they were like, hey, on the line, don't, because we're working through it and it's going to make it worse. Yeah.
Well, I don't even know why they were there.
Who?
Ken and Brittany.
Well, we'll get to that.
Did they even talk to them at all?
No.
I think I remember Brittany saying like one thing. Or one little sequence of things.
But that's why there was just too much going on. That's what brings back to the fact that one of the reasons why I didn't like that other cast members from past seasons were there, because they spent time which could have focused on like, why were you on your phone?
Yeah.
Like why on that boat trip on your little, vacation you had before you went back home, you didn't say one word to her.
Yeah.
And how sweet can you be? And she's so emotionally intelligent. She seems like it.
Yeah, it seems
at
like
least
it for
on,
sure.
Even they mentioned it, like, hey, you bring up things in kind ways.
Yeah.
Which Chelsea would bring it up in a, you fucked her. Yeah. Like overly like, yikes, aggressive.
And I think she has this thing. She's very manipulative in a way that when she
Chelsea,
yes, because when she addresses things, she's either very upset and angry and aggressive, or she's very like docile, or almost like she's being victimized, like, why don't you just like me more? Or like she's talking to a baby, like me.
You love her?
No, it's like the most annoying thing when people try to manipulate a situation by almost putting themselves, when they start an argument, but then putting themselves in like a weakened state so you don't respond accordingly. You're like, well, man, now I feel like a dickhead because I'm going to yell at her like she yelled at me, but now I feel like an asshole because she's talking to me like I'm, about to go down for a nap.
I think she knows her problem, and it's probably alcohol or whatever substance that enhances those things. I mean, from what was shown on TV, because that's like, they're going to show the worst things.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
If you're like even keel, they're like, oh my gosh, give us something, some drama. But because it's going to be more airtime. But they're like, hey, let's drink together before Jimmy comes back home. Like, why not? We know we're going to get something good, and that's TV. It really is. And she's falling for it. And they know, which sucks. I'm not advocating.
Do you think that that every time they had a situation with her and Jimmy, she had been drinking?
Yes.
Really? I need to go back and watch.
I think she was drunk basically the whole entire time.
Wow.
But you could tell because her voice would change. Even from the first, because in the pods when they couldn't see each other, she was probably like tipsy a little bit, but her voice didn't really change. But you could tell when they first saw each other, you could just tell when people, and she's one of those people that just shouldn't drink.
Really?
I
feel like she had like bulldog mouth when she had drink.
Oh, God,
how like like a bulldog has like the downward mouth with the. Come on, seriously. Go back and watch it.
I think she got filler. She looked good. I think she got filler to like lift it a little bit up, but they zoomed in on her face again. I don't know if you saw it, but I was like, oh God.
I feel like she looked exactly the same.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, she got a spray tan. Well, it's been a year, I guess. But I wish they would have focused on, all those main fights. I don't think their biggest problem was that he had sex with one of his friends, because he was honest and open about and I'm like, you've known him for 3 weeks. And if he's being honest about that, I'd be like, I trust you. Because he doesn't need to tell her that.
Yeah.
It could be a secret. It happened once. It'll never happen again. We're friends. And then why stir the pot? I want you in my life. Like, nobody has to know.
Yeah. But people who are insecure, they don't think that way.
But I'm saying from his point.
Yeah,
right.
No.
But
I'm a fan of Jimmy's. I think the way that Jimmy handled it is about the best that you could have handled it.
I think he's got his I think he's an okay guy, but I feel like I don't know. He doesn't make women feel safe in a way. I don't think.
Really? You get that out of Jimmy?
Well, because he did it with Jessica. Like, she's like, you threw me under the bus. I've literally protected you in every interview. I thought we were friends. And Jessica's like a kind of girl that's going to throw everything in this room, like guitars, like anything, a plant, I don't know, a baby, at something. I feel like her head, you don't want to make that girl angry.
Yeah.
I don't think she's as sweet as she comes. I think she's a very, because she's beautiful. Like, why do you need to go on the show?
Yeah, well,
because you might be crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
I think she's crazy.
Yeah. But some people who are just, beauty is, again, only skin deep.
You're right. She could just be surfacey. I don't know. Or just, very superficial, which I can see.
And I think from Jimmy's standpoint.
Jimmy lied.
What did Jimmy lie about?
About the whole, because the whole only thing that they talked about with Jimmy, Jessica, and Chelsea was between Jessica and Jimmy about the conversation, why he didn't pick her. And he was like, well, you walked out 10 minutes in our conversation. And they showed it. And it was 2.5 hours with an 8-minute break.
Well, in Jimmy's defense, it's really easy to when you recollect something like that, to have the timetable off. I mean, come on. I mean, 10 minutes and 2 hours is a really big discrepancy.
It is. And it's anybody's going to remember. I mean, I get it. He could have probably thought it was someone else, but he remembers. And he's just trying to save face. I don't think he's a bad person. I actually think he's a good human. But I feel like he plays like.
Yeah. Well, he's a like late 20-something-year-old guy. I mean.
I actually just don't think he really cares. So it's easy for him to be patient and even when girls are going crazy.
Really? Because I remember early on our first podcast,
I know
you were giving him credit for being able to
I do. I think he is
with Jimmy's or being patient with Chelsea's outburst and everything.
I do. I still believe that. I don't know these people. You only see things and you sit and think about it, and I'm sitting and comparing to, males and females I know or relationships that I've had. And I'm like, well, some guys are just naturally just chill and cool, but they've got nothing inside. Because they're just going to deal with these crazy women, but they've got nothing to
But can you agree that you can be as a man, you can have that type of demeanor but still be in love with the person?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And that's probably the perfect calming someone down, but I don't feel like she knew that he wasn't attracted to her.
You think she knew that?
I think. And I feel like that she was trying to fish for it in an odd way, drowning herself in alcohol. But he had no emotions behind his eyes. I love you, babe.
Really? I did not get that.
I don't know. You have to go back and just watch him say I love you. I have never heard people say I love you that much other than him and her, but it was nothing behind the words.
Yeah, because every time they would have an interaction, he's like, you didn't say you love me enough. You didn't kiss me.
And he's like, I love you.
Yeah, but
dead eyes.
But that's when someone is forcing it out of you instead of you doing it organically. That's what you get.
I agree.
You get a forced response.
I get it. It was a mess. I did see pictures of people posting that they were out together currently.
They were together.
Like leaving a hotel, going out to dinner in Florida, a whole bunch of stuff. So maybe they're trying to work it out.
Oh, man.
I think she definitely needs some sort of
I think it's just for
therapy.
press.
Do you think? I don't think so. Why? But why?
Because, again, 15 minutes. You try to spread that 15 minutes out as long as you can, right?
I would actually watch her.
Watch her do what? What the fuck you gonna watch her do?
I don't know. Sell me some Girl Scout cookies. I don't know. Watch her. Like, what show would she be good on? She's entertaining. Jimmy, he doesn't give much, but he's even.
Yeah.
But maybe that's a perfect match. Something crazy and somebody that if they were just, I don't know.
So we don't think at any point that Jimmy and Jessica get together.
No.
That ship has sailed.
I don't think that she would ever go for a guy like him. And I just feel weird that she kept mentioning, well, I gave you that letter. There's a lot. I don't trust her.
Really?
I really don't. I don't think she's like, you're not a girl's girl or whatever. I don't think she is either. I think she's a lot of drama. There's something about her I don't trust. And I'm very particular about, I mean, I've had my set of girls that I've grown up with, but girls are mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I am one. I try not to be mean.
What, a mean girl?
No, I try not to be mean.
Really?
I'm sure some people from high school disagree with that, but I try to not be that kind of vindictive, judgy, but girls are mean.
Yeah.
And I don't
agree.
trust her. There's something about her, and the fact that what's her face from the other season liked her, and she was the biggest mean girl ever.
Yeah, that is true.
Like,
yeah,
ew.
they're like best pals now.
And
yeah,
but then again, I don't know who she is, but I don't think that she's like a saint.
Okay. Well,
Colin, Sarah, all that, but I think she's better than Sarah. But I don't. Chelsea's probably the best one on there. I mean, with the ones we talked about, not Brittany and Amy.
All right, so now we have Clay and AD.
Yes.
Right, Clay and AD. Now, I am not a huge fan of Clay, or I wasn't until the tell-all. And I think Clay, at least he, plays the part of somebody who's put some work in and really kind of expose some of his internal demons when it came to relationships and the stuff that he was holding on to with his dad and his parents. So I think he was just, super transparent, and it's hard to do. It's hard to do the work, but it's also hard to get in front of America and and admit that you have this issue that is hindered you from. I mean, because he said AD was the love of his life.
Do you believe him? Or was he just?
I believe that is true. I'm not sure if I believe that he believes it, and he might have just been saying it for the sake of the show. But when you talk about a woman who kind of checks all of the boxes, AD was she was pretty flawless, man. She was, I mean, and again, I don't know the inner workings of her, what she looks like and what she acts like off camera, but he can do a lot worse. He can do a lot worse than AD. So I'll be.
But do you think he goes for anyone worse than her? I feel like he goes for it's got to be a 10.
Yeah, but I'm just from a physical standpoint though. Yeah. But
he's only going for physical.
But you don't know. AD could have been crazy off camera. We just don't know. On camera, she looked like an angel, but man, you can tell she was just she was turned off. She was completely turned off. From the love and emotion at the tell-all. I feel like he was, because he did everything that he can do short of just getting down on one knee. It's baby, I'm sorry. I love you. I should have never let you leave that day. If he would have done that, I think that might have been the thing that kind of softened her up a little bit. But, she was really, you can tell she was not having it, dude. She was turned off to him.
I think they're still hooking up. By their body language, Yes.
Their body language, because she was at one end of the couch and he was all the way leaned over to the other. I was noticing the body language.
But I think they're still hooking up. I don't think they're together, but I think that they talk all the time. And then they could be in an argument. That night after the reunion, they were definitely in the same hotel room. Yes. I mean, they were like, when people were talking, they were elbowing each other. They still have a relationship, whatever that is, going on.
So you think AD and Clay are hooking up right now?
Yes. I mean, they might be together. I don't think so now, but I think so. Even if they weren't ongoing, I think that they had communication still and they were on and off. Not official, but definitely still hooking up and definitely hooked up that night. By their body language.
Definitely hooked up that night.
Yeah. I mean.
How could you know that?
Because I was there.
Okay.
They FaceTimed me.
Did they?
No.
Hey.
I don't know. I think he wants to be sincere. I just hate the fact that he has so much identity tied into his dad and what he did. He's got to get some serious help, whether he was being honest about. He probably went to like one therapy session with like 3 different therapists.
Well, he's doing it. He said.
Well, he says he is.
He said,
but it's like, are you the kind of guy anyone can trust? Because I don't think he is. But I really do feel like he wants to.
He definitely comes across as like a used car salesman, but he also does seem like, and again, just based on what we saw, he seems like he is doing the work.
She knew what she was getting into from the jump when he said, I'm going to cheat on you, blah, blah, blah. And she even said, well, you're actually the kind of guy I go for. I mean, they're both sort of the same. She is definitely superficial, too. I mean, when she was walking down the aisle, we said this last week, they were both into that.
Yeah.
But I do feel like she's a very good girl, and I feel like she deserves, like, a very good man. And I don't know why people just go for their, like, parent that just treated them terrible, because it's just like such you see it there, and they could break it and they would be a beautiful couple. They would have some amazing looking babies, and they're cute together, but they just
they look great together.
Got like, he needs to like stop, like, dude.
Clay dad did him no favors though.
Dude, Clay's dad is
up until even the altar at the wedding, even like he's just throwing like just random
quotes,
it's like.
And his accolades. Yeah. He's like talking about himself when it's like, what?
Yeah. Like, you beat me running. You finally beat me running. I was like, and then that was it. There was no lesson. There was no lesson
narcissist.
At the end of that.
Well, his dad's a narcissist. And I'm glad Clay's mom put him in his place. What a strong woman.
I'm surprised that they didn't have her at the tell-all.
She needs a show. I mean, what a woman. I mean.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Just very strong, reserved. I mean, she showed so much class. Even AD hugged her after her own son said no. Right. Like, that's a woman.
Yeah.
Like, that's, I think I said it last week. I was like, I would call her for advice.
I mean, and even when she was talking to the dad after the whole thing, she was very, very monotone, very calm, controlled. And she was like, she didn't mince any words and pull any punches, but she did it in such a calm way. It almost makes it worse that she was just so calm, because like you were talking about earlier, when you're emotionally turned off, you're able to be more patient with people. And I feel like she can give a fuck what he does.
It was beautiful. And I'm so glad they gave her that chance to do that.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised, but I'm glad they showed it.
Yes.
They showed it, because just that conversation told us everything we need to know about why Clay is the way he is.
I know. I think we talked about last week. I was like, he said he was a mama's boy, but I really feel like, because he always just talks about his dad.
Well, there's
like,
no matter.
I know, but like, I'm like, dude, just stop.
Well,
you're better than him.
I mean, you can be a mama's boy all you want, but you always want to...
the respect of your father.
For sure, yeah.
As any boy would. I mean, I feel like as a girl, too, you want the... I mean, it's all... But, like, you're a grown man. You got to, like, make that choice yourself. I do. I like them both. I like her. She's very funny. I would love to hang out with her. As soon as she said, say it with your chest, I was like, oh. I mean, and I feel like she keeps those girl, like, the mean girls, like Lauren. I think she's a mean girl.
You think?
I think she's a very
Laura the
well-to-do.
blonde,
I don't have anything.
Jeremy's ex.
Yes, to say bad. I think that she definitely has a right to be, angry. But I don't think that she's like in the category with Jessica. Obviously, they're friends. But I feel like AD keeps all those girls at arm's length. You can
really?
like when Lauren apologized about that thing, she just kind of was just like, I do like AD because of that. I feel like she's honest. She's true to herself, and most of these girls on the stage, or whatever in the season, but they're young, and how old are they?
I mean, they're in their mid to late 20s.
Oh my gosh! And and most of them look a lot older than you.
I got some city miles on them.
I know.
And so now we're down to the triangle. We're down to Sarah Ann,
not
Jeremy.
Yet.
No, we're not.
Kenneth and Brittany.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Kenneth and Brittany, and still to this day, still a fan of Brittany. So the internet is going crazy right now with what they think happened with Ken.
Well, I mean, she made a video.
She did, the one with him in it.
Yeah, of him coming out of the closet.
Okay,
and her.
So, so that just might be like a smoke screen. But do you think he's gay?
Yes.
You think Kenneth is gay?
Yes.
But why do you even go on the show if? Well, we've already covered that 15 minutes of fame. But
no, he was on the Kelly Clarkson show. Yeah.
What? Wait.
I didn't know this until TikTok. TikTok literally knows everything.
He was on Post.
Was it Kelly Clarkson? It was on Kelly Clarkson, or no, it was before. As a principal. He's like one of the greatest elementary school principals. That's what he really was honest, saying he's very involved with the students, and he really is. I watched the whole episode.
Okay.
He is great. Like, so this was a few years before. Or I guess as soon as he graduated college, in his first year being principal, he got nominated. I don't know why he was on it. It was just clips from TikTok.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it was Kelly Clarkson. Yeah, it wasn't the Drew Barrymore because she just started. But yeah, so it was like 2 years ago.
Okay. So
just like a spotlight of like good humans.
Right. So you think he goes on this show already knowing that he's gay, right? So
maybe he was questioning it. Maybe because he seems like he's a Christian. Maybe he doesn't want to be, and maybe he found a great friend in her, and he was like, yeah, no, I just like men. So
the rumor is that they actually broke up shortly after the pods, but the breakup wasn't caught on camera, and so production had them basically do it all over again.
Because he probably said, "I thought your name was Brett." This is weird. We can't do this. I mean, what straight man loves dolphins that much? I like it. I mean, I'm here, and
he was all about those fucking dolphins, man.
I mean, he lit up like a Christmas tree. She's like, "Why don't you touch me?" He's like, "Because you're not Brett. You're not." And it's really sad. Man. But, I mean,
it's sad that she had to go through that in order.
It's okay. It was only 2 weeks.
But it seems like
she'll survive.
It seems like they're cool now.
They're like best friends. I had a gay best friend, and that's how I touched and loved on him. Just the same. I mean, because she was all over him, and then I mean, she was touching him, touching his leg.
But do you think she knew at that point that he was gay? At that point, you talk about when they were in Dominican Republic.
No. I don't. No. I don't.
Or at the tell-all.
Yes, the
she
tell-all.
She was touching on him at the tell-all.
Yes,
really?
Go back and watch it.
I'm gonna have to.
And she was always touching his leg. She was touching all. I mean, she's a physical person. It seems like. I don't think she knew when they were on that little trip after he proposed. But she said they talk every day. They FaceTime all day long. No one's going to do that unless, I mean, if they're both single and if she really did love him, nobody's going to do that unless he's gay. Opposite sex?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think the way, like, as abruptly as they broke up, I feel like from her standpoint, she was left wanting something out of him and out of that relationship. And so with that being the case, a couple, 9 months, 10 months go by, and you see him, you start talking to him. It's like day one again. It's almost like being back in the pods, I think it's real easy to kind of like pick up where you left off, especially because at that point they had they had sex yet?
They never. No, yeah, they never.
Are you sure they didn't have sex?
She's still a virgin.
Get the fuck out of here. Sorry. Brittany's not a virgin.
Yes, I am. No, she said they asked one of the questions, and she said they asked a question that was basically saying, do you think if you guys got physical, do you think the outcome would have been different?
Okay.
Like one of those things is like if you're withholding something and like just, I guess people just get sexually frustrated or angry about it. I don't know. But that was the question. And she was like, no, because we both agreed on it. I forget her answer, but they did ask that.
Wow.
But she even said, I'm waiting until I get married in the pods. But you're only in the pods for what? Is it 2 weeks or a week?
Oh, I think it's a week.
I feel like a year. I feel like if it were me, I'm not invested. I haven't invested a year in you, so it's not going to hurt that bad. I've invested 2 weeks.
I need you to be honest with me. Do you think Brittany is a virgin?
I don't know.
Brittany Mills, we know for a fact you're not. But
because I got 2 children.
I know, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I am a virgin.
Even though you just lied to the people. But
I don't know. I don't like.
It's hard for me to believe
scroll
that.
Through her Instagram like you do.
In this,
you creep.
But this day and age, I just find it hard to believe that there's still like 27, 28-year-old virgins.
Have you gone to church? People still believe in that.
I know. I get it. And yes,
how old is she?
Gone.
I don't think. I think she's 25.
Is she that young?
Yeah,
still
because he's
even,
25.
Still even. Still.
I don't know. I mean,
man,
people have.
Tell me what y'all think in the comments. Do you think Brittany Mills is a virgin?
Not me.
Oh, man.
She's beautiful. I think she's got a good head on her shoulders. I do think she is.
Okay.
Because she would have like maybe strapped him down, like held him down. I don't know, but he's definitely. I think he might be gay, and that's okay. But I feel like he's also like a Christian, so he's got like morals to withhold.
Yeah. So you're saying he's a virgin too?
With women.
Okay. All right.
No, I mean, it's not.
We'll find out. We're going to do some investigating.
Okay, last but not least.
And find out if this fool is gay or straight, which is fine either way.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're at the triangle, the Bermuda Triangle. Jeremy, Sarah Ann, and Laura. So last we saw before the tell-all, Sarah Ann and Jeremy were riding off into the sunset on their jet skis.
It was very funny.
It was hilarious the way they were like giggling
in the camera angles.
They're having the best time ever, and then they show like Laura.
Production was like, "This is the best."
Like.
And where else were they going to go? Nobody wanted to be around them.
It was a lake.
They had to go.
Yeah.
On Clay's jet skis.
So I think the editing of the show made Sarah Ann look a lot worse than she actually did, or her conduct actually was, because the fact that she went to Laura and had that conversation with her, like at that point you could tell Laura was already, she was out. She was emotionally, physically, like divested at that point. Like she was like, do you boo boo? He's a piece of shit, but do your thing. And even though that the text was inappropriate, she admitted that it was inappropriate from her standpoint. She said, like, I didn't view it as bad as everyone else viewed it. In hindsight, now I see that it was inappropriate. So she did own it. And, it's like, you've known him. Oh, I've known him as long as you've known him. And so he proposed to you. I still think he's the love of my life. So I'm going to, exhaust every option that I have to try to get him back.
She did.
I get that. Oh, yeah.
And she won.
Is that winning?
No. If Jeremy's a prize, who thinks, the fact, I think that Laura, what was her name? Lauren?
Laura.
Yeah. I don't think she ever liked him. I think when she saw him, she was like, okay, this is what I got to deal with. I'll just say no eventually. I mean, they'd never had really good, loving chemistry when they saw each other. And he's a little weasel. He lies, obviously. He was lying the whole time on stage. There's just something about him that fills my little body with rage. Maybe because I've dated some people like him before. Just tell the truth. It's not that hard.
Just gaslight
Instead
to
of
the
saying,
end of the day.
I don't recall. I don't remember saying that. I mean, if I did, what? You did. People are calling him out one by one. But Sarah Ann, that conversation that she had with, you said Laura?
Yeah.
Lauren. Yeah, Laura. I don't think that Sarah Ann's way too smart.
I don't think, I definitely
actually
got
do.
that vibe.
I feel like she was genuine in that conversation. It was a stupid conversation. She didn't say sorry. She was basically asking for advice. Hey, I'm gonna date your fiance now.
Yeah.
What do I need to know?
Yeah.
And it should have not been asking questions about him. It should have been like, hey, I'm sorry. Everything I've done is inappropriate. But she was asking questions about him.
Right.
It was weird.
And the way that it was edited, it made that situation look a lot worse because they could have easily, after the conversation between, who was it? Jeremy and Sarah Ann, they could have easily shown the conversation between Sarah Ann
right after.
and Laura and say, okay, well, now we know that Laura's good. Laura's good at this point. So I don't know if it makes it any better, but at least from the audience standpoint, you'd be like, all right, well, at least
she was woman enough to sit down with her. Well, she knew going in that she was going to have these conversations because I'm sure that they were like, hey, you have to talk to these people because we're filming and nobody knows what's going to be shown on TV in this moment. Just like all the arguments, all the good times. Poor Chelsea. She only got the short in this. She got the short. I'm sure that all of the other moments are pretty great, but.
Listen, they were like, let's get this fucking Chelsea out of here as quickly as possible.
Maybe she's not that bad.
Let's not even talk to her.
Gosh. Well, she's probably just easy. Man. But Sarah Ann, when she walked out, it was giving 1980s prom. She had so much glitter on her body.
She did have a lot of glitter on.
Her dress.
Even Jamie was like, why does she have so much glitter on her body?
It was bad. It was clumped up too. It wasn't shimmery. It wasn't rubbed in. I think they did that on purpose.
Maybe it's the new thing.
But she's a mean girl because of all of her TikTok and Instagram videos are just very vindictive and just she's not good. So that conversation, I just don't think she's smart. I don't think she has any girls as friends, so she doesn't know how to communicate with females. There's something about her face too that just kind of I don't trust you.
Yeah.
She seems if you were married, you wouldn't want to have your husband alone with her because you're no. One of those kind of, I don't know. She finds validation through men.
Yeah, well,
maybe.
That's a lot of women.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, I don't know. I just think she is young, stupid, and selfish. Selfish for sure. I think she kind of wanted what she wanted and was going to do whatever she had to get what she wanted, no matter if it was genuine or she just wanted more TV time or she just whatever. Because then they talk about when she took the video of in his apartment, and she's like, well, I didn't know that people were going to go. Have you not been on the internet? Do you not know motherfuckers will find a needle in a haystack on the internet?
She knew what she was doing.
She knew exactly what she was doing.
And that's the kind of girl she is. And I love the fact that Chelsea called her out, and she was when she was like, "Hey, you deleted all the girls, but kept our fiancés as friends."
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of girl she is.
Yeah.
She's just icky, and I think that she thinks she's hot shit. And I love that nobody clapped when she walked out. They're like, "Yikes! We all knew you were coming in because you plastered it all over the internet."
Yeah. Well,
they should make the contracts tighter for the next season so people cannot post anything until. Because usually on The Bachelor, because I was supposed to be on that, the legal stuff for that show was, 500 pages long.
Yeah. It was the same for the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, you have to have if you have any social media, it has to be private. And then once it completely airs, you can go public. Or you cannot post. You have to delete everything. You cannot post anything. And I don't know.
Yeah, well, so it did come out that, a previous girlfriend of Jeremy came out. She did a 4-part post on TikTok about her experience with him and how he's domestic violence and I guess we can't say, I'm gonna say pew because that's what she said. I'm gonna call it the ratchet. That's what we call it in the hood. He had the ratchet. And
have you ever been to the hood?
How about, come on now, South Norfolk, baby.
Yeah, right.
So that was one of those things to where it was like, how much value do you put on that? It wasn't just like just a way to get, some clout. Was she clout chasing, or do you think that it was a legitimate? Because there is no police report, and I know that it takes, somebody to press charges for the police report to actually be a thing. But
so legally, you can hide those things. The defendant, if you go to court, you can do that to protect your reputation. I was watching this lawyer talk about it.
We got Matlock over here. Go ahead.
I know. I watch a lot of.
She's been in prison a lot. Go ahead. Go ahead. Continue.
I watch a lot of Law and Order. Thank you very much. I don't even know if this is true because I heard it on TikTok about if you are convicted of something like that and you don't have to serve any time, he might have had to give all of his guns away. Blah, 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 maybe pay a fine, a restraining order. He can actually, as a defendant, do a reputation, lock it up so nobody can see it. Obviously, if it's needed for work or those purposes, but obviously for social media, no one's going to find it. And I'm sure that the casting, they probably asked, and he was like, no, I'm clean, whatever. But I'm sure if they try to get it, they could. For that, safety reasons. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I believe it. I don't know.
Well, I
don't know. You can put in the comments if it's true, if you're a lawyer, if you can actually, as the defendant.
Oh, yeah, lawyers chime in.
Protect your reputation by small crimes like that. That you don't actually go to jail, but you just pay a fine and then probation stuff.
I'd be interested to know the legality of that.
And the fact that Chelsea called him out and was like, you guys are still together? Every time I see you, you're broken up. And he was like, he took off. And then she looked at him. I was just watching all of their reactions to each other because I feel like she was sort of shocked. He definitely calls the shots in that relationship. He's got, I don't know.
Yeah.
We're going to see him on the news.
He got a creeper vibe.
Even his own mother knew. When they had that conversation, she's like, park. Yeah. And I was shocked because nobody knew who he was. And she was like, well, if I were her, I'd beat your ass. Because she knows the kind of guy he is.
Yeah.
She knows.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Because, they're taping the next season now, right?
Yes.
So in a few months we should get some sort of cast list and see who's on that show and see how crazy they look.
And on TikTok there's already drama around it.
Really?
Around the people who are cast, talking about, I guess, a few guys that are currently on the show, and a bunch of women are coming forward. So it should be a mess.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, they're just, Love is Blind is eating right now.
They just need to have better.
They are eating now. Why? The drama is where it's at.
Yeah.
Just keep it going. Keep it coming. All right, well, tell what you think of this 6th season of Love is Blind in the comments. Remember, like and subscribe. And yeah, comment on those on the post and the video, anything that you find interesting. Let us know what you think about it. 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After airs this coming Sunday. And I'm a huge fan of this show. I just love the craziness that is 90 Day Fiance as a whole. So we have we're close enough to we have a cast list now. I know for that Jasmine and Gino are on it.
Of course.
Right? Big Ed and Liz are on it.
Let them go.
Big Ed.
Wait, so it's the first episode?
The first episode
Okay,
airs
so
Sunday.
I'm going to be on that. Yeah.
First episode, yeah, he's Big Ed is a piece of work, man. He is a piece of work, dude. And he's been nursing this 90 Day Fiance thing for, I think, longer than anyone. He's been on longer than anyone.
He must have some ties with the producer.
Well,
he might be the producer.
You think so?
Is he running the show over there?
Well, if you remember at first, he had, I forgot the young lady, Rose. Rose was his first girlfriend, and she lived in the Philippines, and I remember he went to visit her, and he was trying to take a shower, and there's a rat in the corner of the shower.
Oh,
You remember that?
Yes, I do.
And it was like, nope, let's go. We going to a hotel.
God.
Oh man. And then that relationship fell through, and then of course he was on 90 Day Fiance. Then after the 90 days, and then he was on A Single Life. He's been on a bunch of them. Well, he's been on for the last 5 to 6 years.
He should be The Bachelor. Could you imagine?
Yeah, could you? No, I couldn't. Could you imagine?
That could be something.
Ed. Man.
Google it if you have no idea what we're talking about. Google Big Ed.
Big Ed 90
Day.
Yeah, you'll know what we're talking about. So yeah, him and Liz are on. I believe I forgot this couple's name. We like them though. She's from a farm here. They met in Vegas. He's from, I believe, Nigeria.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I saw them when I was watching it.
They're a cool couple. They have two kids now.
They do now. Didn't she have kids before?
No, she had a kid with him. She was pregnant. She they met in Vegas. She got knocked up in Vegas, them, yeah. And then he finally, got his citizenship, came normal. Here. And then there's one more couple on there that I wanted to make sure that. Angela and Michael.
Oh God.
Angela's another one who's been.
What is the show called? Happily Ever After?
Happily Ever After. 90 Days. Happily Ever After. So they're married now. He's finally here in the States, and we'll see how they go. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with social media, Angela, I believe she got charges pressed because she forced a young gentleman to kiss her at a bar, and it made him super uncomfortable, and now she's taking a lot of heat.
How young?
He was in his 20s. He was young.
Was
and
she
now
married?
Big Angela, she's married to Michael.
I mean, was she married when this happened?
Yeah, this happened last week. Yeah, she was in a bar.
What do you mean charges?
Well, I think he might have pressed charges.
What kind of charges?
Harassment? I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't blame him.
But if Big Angela walked in a room I was in, I would press charges.
So I'm wondering, what?
Yeah, so I saw the video for the first time today. It's pretty cringy.
Is it going to be on this first episode?
Probably
about
not.
It? Okay.
Probably not.
Oh, so it's new.
Yeah, it's brand new. So they're in it looks like a sports bar, some sort of bar. She's dancing on his lap and everything, rubbing his head, super stripper, lap dance, seductive. She takes the glass out of his hand. I think it looked like he's drinking water, and gives him his water, feeds it to him. He drinks it. He's trying to play along, whatever. And then she rubbing his head, and she just pulls his head in and just kisses him. And you can tell he was just fucking mortified. It was the worst thing ever.
Was it just a normal guy, or was it a stripper?
No, it was a dude that was just there, trying to watch the fucking game.
Where was her husband? I thought they were happily ever after.
Yeah, she's happy.
Get your girl.
She's happy to be on TV, and she is
Her and Gino need to get together.
Yeah, she's a mess. She's a mess, dude. Ugh. So, long story short, she is going to be on this season. So, I mean, love her or hate her, she gets clicks, she gets views. So, you know, we're going to watch it.
Google her too, so you have a vision of somebody dancing on a young child.
Yeah, and then she just got
man.
those permanent dentures put in. Did you see that?
No, you told me about it.
It was.
What is it? Okay, so what's the difference between dentures and veneers?
So they they had to drill into her gums and put.
They don't drill it. Oh, veneers go over top.
They go over
teeth.
Top. They shave your teeth down and then.
They do bolts for dentures. Why would people do that?
Because their teeth are like so jacked.
Oh, so they have to like get rid of. Okay.
Yeah, so you got to get rid of all of it.
Brush your teeth.
Yeah, and plus she's like a 2-pack a day smoker, and every time she had like her breast reduction. And every surgery she has, the first thing they tell her is you need to stop smoking.
I remember that.
Your recovery be shit if you keep smoking.
Well, she
and
ain't going under general anesthesia.
The first thing she does is goes and smokes.
Right.
The first thing she does.
That's the whole reason. They were like, hey, don't smoke at least a month because you're about to, a tube's about to go under, in your throat.
She's
poor Angela.
Yeah, fuck
Let her
Angela.
live her life.
Fuck Angela.
She's living the dream. She's like, look, I'm getting paid. Let me dance who I want to dance on. A little, little heat, little ankle bracelet from.
So you can tune in. I believe it comes on at 8 Eastern time on TLC. Check it out. We'll be watching. We'll be doing our reviews on it. Question of the day. This is a fun one because I'm not a huge like astrology fan. Or I'm like not super into astrology, but I do feel like our zodiac signs, whatever characteristics come or they say come with our zodiac signs, I feel like it's pretty accurate for the most part. I know mine is. So, but the question of the day is, how likely or unlikely are you to cheat based on your zodiac signs? Are some signs more loyal than others? What do you think, Britt?
Well, I had to Google it, and do you want me to call you out that you're not into astrology when you have a tattoo? Don't you have a tattoo?
Oh, because I'm a Taurus, so it's a bull on my.
Doesn't it say Taurus?
No, it has my nickname on it. No,
it's your nickname, Taurus.
It's pretty redundant to have a bull and then Taurus on top of it.
But do you call bulls Taurus? I don't know.
You call it Taurus is Taurus.
But do you call bulls Taurus? I got a bull necklace.
Yeah, you do. That's a longhorn. So I'm a Taurus, and I know the.
What's your birthday?
May 9th.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you the year, but no, 1978.
I can't think that far back.
So I know like the characteristics of a Taurus is patient, independent, loyal.
Honestly, I'm looking this up right now, and I'm gonna
No, look it up.
Check.
I'm telling you. It was another one that was like Tauruses are the shit, dude.
Okay.
We're the best.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Says who?
Says.
Well, okay, so
the world.
Antoine's very into astrology. So it says your positive attributes.
Oof.
Attributes. Hello, is this thing on? Are you're practical, resourceful, confident? No. Just kidding. Energetic and tidy. Are you tidy?
I am super tidy.
Are you really?
Yeah,
are you like
100%.
Are you OCD? Are you just like your like clean space?
Yeah.
Your negative is stubborn. Yes.
Yes.
Unforgiving.
Yes.
Excessive. That's true.
I'm one of those
excessively annoying.
I'm one of those people like if you like I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, give you all the credit in the world. If you like fuck me over, you're done. Like done. There's zero forgiveness.
Like, what do you mean?
Like anything, dishonesty, lying, because I feel like if you'll lie about this particular thing, you'll lie about anything, and I can no longer trust you at that point. I've always been that way, even as a kid, dude. I've always been that way. So
I do remember when I first met you, you were like, "What's one of your negative traits?" And I was like, I said something, and you were like, and you did say that. You were like, I don't forgive people easily, or like I have a hard time letting things go. I remember that. Something like that.
So from a loyalty standpoint, from your research, does it say Tauruses are?
Well, let me get to it.
Okay.
Okay, so I had to write all these down because I didn't realize there were so many. So the most loyal zodiac signs, the top 4 are number 1, Taurus.
Yeah. Ha ha. Told you, baby.
Well, 2, Cancer. 3, Leo. 4, Scorpio.
And what's your sign?
The hot and now from Krispy Kreme. I'm a Leo.
Why are you looking like that?
Because it's just...
You're in the top 4, right?
I am.
Okay, you're good to go.
I'm the 3rd.
Okay.
God, I would love a good Krispy Kreme. Okay, so the most disloyal signs, the top 4, number 1, I wish I would write so small, Gemini.
Yeah. I can.
Number 2, Aries. 4, wait, number 3, where are you? 3, Sagittarius. 4, Libra.
Okay. Well, I mean, I definitely see like the Gemini being the most disloyal because the twins, 2 heads. You can never know. You never know who's in charge.
I thought you weren't into zodiac signs.
Well, because Gemini and Tauruses are very like close by a couple of days. I mean, we're the next sign.
When does Gemini start?
I think it starts like mid
or beginning of June.
Late May, early June. Yeah. So.
I mean, I'm looking up Leo right now. Strengths: creative, passionate, generous, warm-hearted, cheerful, humorous.
Well,
weakness.
Humorous is not.
Okay. Weakness: arrogant, stubborn, self-centered, lazy,
yes.
inflexible.
Keep going. Keep going. All the men is spot on. Now I believe in astrology.
Gosh.
That shit is, man.
But and then I also looked up a different website. So the signs ranked on loyalty the most in relationships, friendship, and romantic.
Okay.
And it gives me a different rundown.
All right, let us know.
So it goes Scorpio, Cancer, Leo, Taurus.
Still in the top 4, baby.
Right behind me. Virgo, Capricorn, Aquarius, Libra, Pisces, Aries. Sorry, Gemini. I guess you're the worst.
Gemini can't get shit right.
You told me that Scorpio was the worst, and that's clearly...
I was joking. Joking.
Okay.
But remember, we were talking the other day when we first came up with the topic, and I was like, Gemini is definitely...
I know, because
it's top of the list as far as...
Because Antoine was like, what sign are you? And I was like, Scorpio. And I was like, Capricorn. It would change every 5 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you really believe in, like... I feel like maybe traits... But I don't think like a whole like...
I do. And of course, it's not like the end all be all. Like it doesn't, just because you're a Taurus doesn't mean you're never going to cheat on someone. But I think it does. Like I feel like there's an energy that surrounds us all, right? And we're more closely connected than we know or like to believe. And so I think while these like the astrological signs have this banner of zodiac signs on it, I think it's a little bit deeper than that. I think what we view now as the character traits of those zodiac signs is like kind of derived from centuries of this type of research and this type of history, and it just kind of has culminated now, and this is what we see, like these zodiac signs and how the character because it has to have some validity to it, because all of those signs are so closely accurate to what the actual like I know with Taurus, I know I'm like that's like almost to a T.
I have a question.
My character.
Gotcha. That's what I remember you saying that. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to look at it a little bit more and see. But when you were dating before you got married, did you ever, like, after the first few dates, know their birthday and look up their zodiac sign to see if you were compatible?
No, just because.
Do you feel like compatibility has to do with zodiac signs or no? Or are you just talking about personality?
I think there is some connection. I think there's some zodiac signs that do they vibe better. They're more compatible. But again, I don't think it's the end all be all. And but me, I didn't care about that stuff. Like,
you've never looked it up. You're like, oh my God.
I mean, not like, I feel like that's not stuff that you should be looking up until you know that this is a person you really want to have like some sort of committed relationship with. Because that,
and if they're a Gemini, do you say we can't be together?
I'm out the door. I'm out.
They're
no,
like, but Antoine.
Usually, if I'm with a Gemini.
What?
If I'm with a Gemini,
if you were...
I know they're crazy way before I have to even look up their zodiac sign.
Oh, because they just show it?
They show it.
So, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
Then how come you didn't know my zodiac sign?
Because I never looked it up. I just know you're crazy. I mean, you're...
Did you think I was a Gemini? I did say I was a Gemini, and you were like, oh, man.
No, I mean, I just can't. That's too much energy. Too much focusing on the wrong details when you're, especially in a new relationship. Like,
I was just wondering, like friendships and like, I just never knew. I've taken like personality tests or like those Myers-Briggs things. I'm like, okay, you do your number. Like, I don't know, what color are you? Green? I don't know. So really? I guess it all makes sense. So I'm a Virgo.
All right. You're Virgo. So, and
I'm not.
You're not. Which one is it?
I'm a Leo. I said that.
I mean, I can't remember all this shit. You got to like remind me. And plus you've thrown out 3 different signs, so it's hard to know what you're telling the truth about.
There's only one important sign.
And that's Leo, evidently.
No, it's the hot now. Thank you.
Guys, go in the comments and tell us your sign and tell us if you think that the character trait of each zodiac sign is really accurate to what it takes to be a good person, bad person, loyal, disloyal, so on and so forth. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Hold Your Applause podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Amazon. You can find Britt on social media at, where you at?
Brittany Daniels on Instagram.
You on the TikTok too?
Am I? Yeah. Britt Daniels? Or am I just Britt? I don't know. I've never looked. Britt Daniels.
While we still have TikTok, we might be losing TikTok.
I think the government's gonna buy it and then enforce rules.
All right, really?
Yes.
All right.
That's another conversation.
I feel like it's too much money not to, huh?
Yes. They want it. They want it.
Yeah. Okay. You can find me on Instagram, Antoine the Juggernaut. On TikTok, same thing, Antoine the Juggernaut. And on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, at Antoine Britt. You can follow us, Hold Your Applause, the podcast, on Instagram. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Play it for your dog. Play it for your cat. And we will see you next week. Holla back. Peace.
Bye.